Do you really think that we're going to have a real estate market crash here in the state of New Jersey? Let me remind you what a real estate market crash is. It's when home prices from peak to bottom decrease at least 30%. In the Great Recession of 2008, we dipped 33% from peak to bottom. That's what we call a real estate market crash. But people seem to think that real estate is a lot more liquid than it is, such as stocks or cryptos. And when people capitulate, so everybody's like, screw it, I'm out, I'm selling. Stocks and cryptos, those are liquid. You can turn those into cash quickly. Real estate, not the same. Plus, where do you see the capitulation? I don't see a lot of new listings hitting the market. In fact, people are holding onto their homes like they are gold. So where is this real estate market crash going to come from? In this video, we're going to get to the very bottom of these rumors. People say that this housing crash will be the biggest housing crash of our entire generation. And here's where I disagree with that. The last housing crash was because of a variety of different factors. We simply do not have the same elements in the real estate market right now to create the same concoction that crashed the real estate market in 2008. The main factors that really led to that crash were banks getting super greedy, giving out ninja loans, no income, no assets, no job. And people went absolutely nuts. They were buying everything. You didn't have to prove anything in order to get a mortgage for as much as you wanted on any given house. This sent the real estate market to all-time highs at the time, but what it really did is it set most people up for a world of pain and hurt because people did not realize how much their interest-only payment option was going to increase once the principal portion of each mortgage payment monthly was added in. And once people started to get unemployed, which happened a lot at that time, you had a bunch of homeowners, new homeowners, who could not afford the mortgage on their house. And when this happens, banks foreclose on the property. Well, what happens when a bunch of properties start getting foreclosed on? They get sold by the banks on the open market in the form of a foreclosure. This increased supply and demand got completely killed. So when supply was all the way up here and demand was all the way down here, man, those sellers up here had to lower their prices so low in order to meet the demand and finally find somebody who's willing to buy their property. Today, we have unemployment at near all-time lows. And while we do have a lot of layoffs, there are still a ton of job positions. And while most of these job positions may very well suck, I'm not going to deny that they do. Most of them do provide you enough income to make your monthly mortgage payment and not foreclose on your property. So the question is, will we have that much of a disaster economy that so many people get unemployed and so many people get foreclosed on that inventory, aka supply, goes rampant? Now, I do think the economic landscape, especially on the macro, will continue to worsen. With all this said, keep in mind the pressure that we're having from the Fed is what's tanking the market right now. If things get too bad, the Fed can just go back into quantitative easing, aka turning on the money printer, and they can introduce a lot of liquidity right into our money supply. And home prices, once that happens, it's going to be hard to keep them suppressed because interest rates will be down again. People have a lot of money in their pockets again. It's going to be like 2020 all over again. So what I see as the economy continues to worsen, and this is my original prediction, you can see it on my Instagram, you can see it on my TikTok from over a year ago when people started saying that there was going to be a housing market crash. I really predicted, and I still feel strongly about my prediction of a 10 to 15% pullback year over year from the all-time high, which is always in July. Next July, we might be 10 to 15% lower. And then in the winter, about November through February, we're going to be about 10 to 15% lower than November and February of the previous year. So obviously mortgage rates are the thing that is killing housing demand right now. And while they are hovering around 6 to 7, I've predicted that they're going to hit 10%. I do think that they will get to 8 at least, but it's very possible that they hit 9 or 10 as well. Now, with this prediction of them going up to that high, I am saying that they will be there for a very short amount of time. We actually already have experts predicting, as well as the Fed saying, that sometime in the second half of 2023, they're going to have to bring rates back down. So what's the best thing to do in the real estate market right now? The way I see it, if you have a property that you need to sell and you cannot wait 2 to 5 years for the real estate market to recover its uptrend, then you should sell. But if you need to buy, look, prices are still coming down and they have not hit that 10 to 15% decrease that I'm talking about. When do I think that's going to happen? I think it's going to happen in Q2 and Q3 of next year. What we should have is extremely high interest rates in Q2, especially towards the beginning of Q2, so maybe the end of Q1. And what this is going to do is really scare people. So when people get scared, they will start capitulating and sellers will start putting their homes on the market for less money. But as this happens and interest rates are peaking, the Fed at some point is going to turn on the money printers and they're going to lower the interest rates. And this will happen at the same time that housing prices will finally be depressed. So what we have here is essentially the perfect storm, blood on the streets, the darkest hour. And this is the best time to buy real estate. It will be a small window of opportunity. People will be talking about the property that their friend bought during that small window of opportunity for the next 10 years to come, just like people are still talking about their friends who bought property in 2012. And when it comes down to it, you should have a larger supply of inventory to choose from at that time, and you can get really something that fits your needs very nicely. My personal approach would be to find something that needs some rehab work. That way you can add value to the property, and then you could actually maximize off the appreciation that you're going to get once the Fed lowers rates again and the money printers turn back on. So that's kind of how I see the real estate market. I'm pretty sure it's exactly how it is today right now, especially in the state of New Jersey, which is quite frankly protected from some of the more stark real estate crashes that we're going to see in markets like Austin, like in Boise, like in Phoenix, Arizona. Look, those places are completely new markets. This is Bergen County, New Jersey. This market has been around since the 1700s. There is not a lot of new development, and what you see is what you get. If it's something that you're interested in, you should definitely be checking out Bergen County, New Jersey, because we have the best access to New York City and we have very high quality of life. My name is Tyler Sellers from Mr. Sellers Homes, part of 2Win Realty. Thank you guys so much. Please leave this video a like if you got anything out of it. Please subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date with more real estate market updates just like this, as well as my town overviews through every single town in Bergen County. We will be covering them all. And I really appreciate it, guys. So subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next video.